Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. This topic matter actually is credited to John Maxwell because in a conversation I just had with him, he actually mentioned this exact topic. Number one, I want to talk about, well, the Pan America is coming out. I believe that's going to be a hot topic for the 2019 dealer show or dealer meeting. So I do anticipate to see that coming out. I'm very excited to see how that bike looks in person. I was a little bit unsure about what I felt about it when they announced it last year, but it's actually grown on me quite a bit. That front end was really my one point of contention, but ultimately I think it's going to be a great bike. I'm super excited to see that. I've actually considered picking one up to ride around here and enjoy the Arizona desert, but that may or may not be feasible. Probably not. So the other thing, the Street Fighter is coming out. That's supposed to be a heavily anticipated bike for Harley-Davidson, getting back into the kind of sport bike-ish market. There's going to be a lot to be said about how much that bike weighs and what's coming out of that bike in the near future as far as its performance capability goes. I'm sure that people are going to shit all over that bike, but I do anticipate that being a pretty great bike. I do anticipate a little more information out of the LiveWire. I'm sure they're going to be announcing how many dealers have installed charging stations. I know that's something they were working on. I think Laidlaw's has one. Pretty sure that Harley-Davidson of Scottsdale is going to have one. Let's pause for a gas break here. To reset up my Face ID, but I guess I'll pull off the pumps to do that. Being able to set up Face ID, an alternate face, while you're wearing your motorcycle helmet. There we go. There we go. Now, there we go. Face shield on. Face ID works. It's pretty awesome to be able to do that with your iPhone. So, get back on the road here. Oh, bottomed out. It's actually only the second time that's happened now that I think about it. To get back into my predictions for this 2019 Harley-Davidson Dealer Meeting, what I do expect, aside from just these other bikes that we already know are in the pipeline or in the works that are coming, I expect to see some changes with the touring bikes. And if it's not 2019, it's certainly got to be 2020. So I say this only because I test rode the Indian Chieftain, and that video is certainly controversial in itself, only because people are obviously like Harley versus Indian or all these things. But what I absolutely love about that Chieftain Dark Horse is that it's gotta make Harley do some things differently, mainly switching to that monoshock, which these Softails have the monoshock, and it is an awesome ride. I mean, in my opinion, not even a comparable ride between the Street Glide and the Indian. One thing I can say is the Street Glide Special, which is like a lowered version, I think it has the lowered shock. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe it has a lowered shock on the Street Glide Special. That bike rides, I mean, just kind of hard. You hit bumps and stuff and you feel it up through your back. Or the Chieftain Dark Horse, it rides beautiful. I tend to default towards Harley a little more so as like a company that I like more, just for the heritage of the company and everything. But ultimately, those Indians, I feel like those are going to make Harley really have to step their game up, and that's awesome. So, with that being said, I do expect a new, lighter frame for the touring bikes. I expect them to go on a little bit of a diet. I expect the monoshock setup out of those bikes because it's just, in my opinion, a superior setup. And I just expect a little bit of a change, and I hope hope that Harley will actually make a little bit of a tweak to the Street Glide and Road Glide design. Nothing crazy, but I'll tell you what, there is nothing that really differentiates a Street Glide that's several years old versus a Street Glide that's brand new. And they could do that easily by integrating LEDs and all those things, which I think they should absolutely do. I do think that's coming out of this touring change that I really predict. I think that ultimately they need to do something to make these bikes look new and let people realize, oh, I just spent $30,000 on a motorcycle or $25,000 on a motorcycle. And I think that's part of what kind of keeps people away from the dealership, is if they have a bike that's several years old, there's really nothing that changes all that much to make them really want to go out and buy a new bike. And sure, you know, for the 2018s, you did have the new Boombox GTS come out. That was quite a big step up. But one of the things that drives me nuts is that Batwing fairing still has your little compartments on the side that can't fit like a modern iPhone XS or a Samsung Galaxy, whatever the hell it's called, their larger version of their phone. So you have like this really awesome integration with, you know, Apple CarPlay and not Android Auto yet, but you have this Apple CarPlay setup, but you can't fit your phone in the compartment that is designed to plug into. Just kind of like bad design, and it's really more or less aged design. So you really need to kind of reinvent what it is you're actually presenting to the consumer based on what modern tech is, especially when you're going to start integrating that tech with Apple CarPlay and things like that. There's nowhere to put it. Now there is on the Road Glide, but you know, again, different bike. I think the Street Glide, personally I like the Street Glide better, but I kind of digress there. But I think that they just need to make some design changes to let people know, hey, I own a 2019, or hey, I own a 2020, because I don't know, I just think it's something that has to be done. Now, I don't anticipate a whole lot of change in the Softail lineup. I think that you know, I guess I don't follow like the Sportster line that much, because that's the natural progression typically of like Harley ownership, is you get into a Sportster and then you kind of buy your way up through the line. I kind of skipped that. It went straight to the top of the line Softail with the Heritage, and you know, I never really played in that Sportster lineup. But I don't imagine Harley is going to stop using the Sportster nameplate, by no means, because it has way too much marketing dollars behind it and a huge following behind it. So I do anticipate them keeping with tradition and offering a Sportster line. The Street 500s, I don't know, man, maybe those go away. Street 500 and Street 750, I don't see the market for those all that much. I think they were making that a play for India, but I think they're still kind of priced out of the market in India, so it almost kind of became like a bike for nobody. I don't know, I just don't see very many of them on the road. I do see more like the lowriders and you know, 48s and stuff like that, but don't really see a lot of the Street 500s. I see those kind of going away. Electric bikes, I do see some of these smaller bikes coming out. I think they're gonna come to market with those things. I mean, ultimately, those things really can't be all that complicated. I think they're gonna have to rush those out to market to soften some of the blow of the $30,000 LiveWire. I think they need to run some of these other electric bikes out and get people kind of talking about Harley and electric bikes as being one and the same, and the LiveWire I don't think is enough to really start that discussion. So those are my predictions for this 2019 Harley-Davidson Dealer Show. Again, just real quick recap, more info on the Pan America certainly coming, release dates, and certainly specs for that bike. Same with the Street Fighter. I see some future electric bikes being announced with more detail, bicycle, all of that, certainly in the near future. And again, some pretty significant changes to the touring line. I'm going to make that prediction for this year, but that could falter into next year. But I do see that as something that is coming down the pipeline. So there you have it. That is my prediction for the 2019 Harley-Davidson dealer show. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Again, if this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. If you have any comments or input on this topic, drop them down below, and I'll see you guys next time.